Smith, these are your fast five. The first is, what is the best advice you've ever received?
The best advice I've ever received. The first day I got on the tour bus when we were leaving for the first time, leaving Philly, me and Jeff and all our squad. And the last thing my grandmother said as the door was closing, she said, and she called me Lover Boy. She said, hey, Lover Boy, remember, be nice to everybody you pass on your way up, because you just might have to pass them again on your way down. And I was like, and that always stuck with me.
I love that. That's great. All right, second question. What's the worst advice you ever received?
The worst advice. My boy Charlie Mack. Charlie Mack told me, he said, hey man, listen. The way you make a woman love you, you take out to dinner, you know, and then as you going out to place, you just knock somebody out. Because a woman gotta know you could defend her. You just knock somebody out, and if you knock, I mean, it could be a stranger, and you just knock somebody out, and she see your strength, and that's how she'll feel confident, and it changes everything. It changes your sexual life, it just changed everything about it. But you gotta get them good and just knock somebody out.
Did you try it?
Yeah, no, I never tried it.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love that. Oh, man. If you would have tried it, I
never tried that. Well, I kind of felt that was bad advice in the moment.
Third question. I have to ask about all three. No, two of them. One thing you learned from observing the life of Julius Erving and Muhammad Ali.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So Julius Erving was like the man went right in the heart of my childhood. The 76ers won the championship in 1983 in a 4-game sweep of the Lakers. It was heaven. And you know, Dr. J was in everything in Philly. And I would say the single thing with Doc is he was always dignified. No matter what somebody said, no matter what somebody did, he got in one fight in his entire NBA career, but the idea that he was just perfectly still, and he was an exquisite, well-spoken gentleman. And that was the thing. He was a killer on the court. But you know, he was just exquisitely elegant and peaceful, while at the same time doing the thing. And that balance of those two things I always thought was spectacular.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, you said Ali.
Yeah. Because you guys spent so much time together. There's some great interviews between you two as well.
Oh, Ali was hilarious. One of the things, you know, so Ali would just come to set, he would walk around, he would walk away and just get on a bus. You say, yo, where's the champ? And he would get on a bus and just ride, a city bus, and just ride with people. No idea where the bus is going, nothing, no security, anything like that, right? And he was engaged with, you know, people in a way I'd never seen anybody. Like, as famous as he was, he engaged with people in that way. And I would say the total and utter submission to God, right? And he looked like he was arrogant, but it was the other way. It was like he was talking like that and acting like that because he was so utterly submissive to the will of God. And that combination, it just really inspired me with how I wanted to be with people in the world. And I asked him, I said, Champ, why do you just walk away with people like that? And you know, he said, oh man, you got to let these people see you. He said, they ain't never seen nothing like you before. You got to get out there and you got to touch them so they know you real. People can't aspire to stuff that they don't think is real. You know? You know, and it was like he was just so in tune with what he was, you know, and that the seemingly arrogant humility was a beautiful combination.
Love that. All right, question number 4. What's the biggest lesson you've learned in the last 12 months?
In the last 12 months, I would say it's that ignorance and evil are twins. They look. You look at them, and they look just alike, except that ignorance can be educated, and evil is a much more difficult problem. And I would say I learned, fortunately, that ignorance is much more prevalent than blatant evil. If that makes sense.
That's a great answer. Yeah, that makes a lot. I mean, that makes so much sense. We have to have a whole episode about that. So that makes a lot of sense. All right. 5th and final question: if you could create one law in the world that everyone had to follow, what would it be?
One law that everyone had to follow. It would be that you have to repeat back what you heard the other person say before you're allowed to say what you think. That the law is you're not allowed to respond to what someone said until you repeat back what you heard, and the person has multiple opportunities. No, that's not what I meant. And until you repeat back accurately what the person said, you don't get to talk.
That is a great law. I love that principle. It helps in every area of life.
Yeah, because our minds go way off the deep end with what we heard somebody say, and our response, well, first of all, we're not really listening, because we already know what we want to say no matter what they say. And we go really way off the deep end. I was shocked and surprised by how far we can be from what someone actually said to what we heard.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's that broken mirror.
That broken mirror, yes, exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Will, is there anything I haven't let you share, or something in your heart right now that you're like, I have to say this, and you want to share it, but there doesn't have to be, but...
No, not really. Just, and that idea, there was something that popped in while you were saying it, that's called the broken calculator, right? So, and it's about, human interacting, and that the ego can sometimes be a broken calculator, in that, imagine the 7 is stuck down. So every equation you punch in is 7 equals 7 equals 7 equals 7 equals 7, right? So no matter what you say to a person, if they've experienced a trauma, and in their trauma, men ain't shit. Men ain't shit. So that's the broken 7. So no matter what you say, no matter how you behave, it keeps coming up, men ain't shit. And getting our 7 unstuck is a really critical part of being able to interact with other human beings, because we're painting on everything we hear them say. We're adding our stuck 7 to everything they say, and you just can't get the equation to come out correctly if your calculator's broken.
I love that analogy. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I never heard that before. I love that. Yeah. If everyone who goes away listening to this interview, the one thing you remember is that.
Yeah.
What is that broken calculator? What's that number?
Broken calculator.
You keep
what are
adding
you,
to the equation.
And you're gonna make it be that no matter what is in front of you. Your equation's coming up with your broken number.